Yeah. So I was explaining about this question. Due to some interruption, I just stopped that. Let me to continue. I was telling about if they want to get the normal dominant state, so that means you should cross it. Just write down capital P, small q. When they cross it with small p, capital P, capital Q. So now write down the possibilities. Okay. Whenever you write down the possibilities, that is capital P, small q, and what we will get the gametes, that is small p, capital Q. Now you just cross these things. If you cross this one, you can get capital P, capital Q, and small q. Did you got it? Yes. Now you can get it. The genes with P and Q are both required in the dominant state for normal hearing, so that a deaf couple has all the children with a normal hearing. The probable genotype for the couple is option A is the right answer. Did you got it? Yes. The next question, question number 33. What is correct about the linked genes? Okay. See, while we are discussing about the linkages and recombination, I told you clearly that is linkages and recombinations. Okay. So that is what is the linkage and what is the recombination. Linkage is a tendency of two or more genes to remain together in the original combination of the same chromosome from generation to another generation, isn't it? Or we can also say the linkage is a physical association of genes on a chromosome. So that is nothing but the progeny have the parental gene combination. What about the recombinations? The progeny with non-parental gene combination due to crossing over due to the formation of gametes. So here the question, what they are asking, what is correct about the linked genes? Okay. So segregation occurs but no dominance. No, this is a false statement. No segregation but no independent assortment. Again, this is incorrect. No segregation, no dominance. Again, it is incorrect. The segregation but no independent assortment. So this is the correct with respect to the linkages. Did you got it? Yeah. The next question. So here, when they give this type of the questions, you should work it out. Write down the percentage of recombination between a small a and small b. Write down. You should write down the percentage of the what they have given. The recombination between a small a and small b is 9%. And then there is another one between a and, that is small a and small c is equal to 17%. And between small b and small c is 26%. The arrangement of genes, they are asking arrangement of the genes. Okay. So how to arrange the genes? So based on this one, just write down why the answer D is the right answer. You can ask me, sir, how it will be. See, while we are writing the percentages, the arrangement of genes, actually while they are asking this type of the question, they should ask in the manner of the ascending order or descending order, like that, or else you can easily identify the smallest percentage, okay, or the lowest percentage beginning with 9%, then after the 17%, then after the 26%. Now you arrange like this, the beginning from a smallest one, that's 9%, A and B, then you should consider the B. Got it? That is a 9%, A into C, so that is the beginning from the A, 17%. Okay, now another one is C. Okay, that is a 26%. Now you can easily calculate. So which is the right answer? Option D, B, A and C. The arrangement of genes is based on the percentage of recombinations. Did you got it? Yes. The next question, the nuclear structure observed by Hanking in 50% of the insect sperm after spermatogenesis was. Do you remember while we are discussing about that is the sex determination, in the beginning I told you one of the experiment, isn't it? One of the smallest experiment. So, but it's still a very useful experiment. What is that? Who is that person actually Hanking? He is the first person who conducting the experiment. So that means so when he left that the male and female reproductive structures in a petri dishes. Let me to explain briefly that experiment. Hanking in 1891 traced a specific nuclear structure during spermatogenesis of some insects, isn't it? Do you remember that one? While I am explaining in the theory I told you in the beginning only, he observed that 50% of the sperms receives this specific structure, whereas 50% of the sperms did not receive it, isn't it? And Hanking gave the name, or he called this as a X body. So that X body of the Hanking was later on named as X chromosome, isn't it? So that was one of the the basic sex determination experiment. It was conducted by Hanking earlier. Okay, and here also you should remember in 1891. Now you can understand the question as you will get easily answer. What is that? X body is the right answer. Option B, X body. Next question. Which one of the following conditions correctly describes the manner of determining the sex in the given example? Okay. So this is also related to the sex determination, but specifically XX and XO type of sex determination, isn't it? So which one of the following condition correctly describes the manner of determining the sex in the given example? Because while we are discussing XX and XO type of sex determination, by taking example of the grasshopper, isn't it? In this type, the female are homogametic and have XX chromosomes and produce only one type of the egg carrying X chromosome, while the males are heterogametic and they have only one X chromosome without the partner, isn't it? Hence they produce two types of the sperms, where the 50% of sperms carry X chromosome with autosomes A plus X, and other 50% of sperms carry only autosomes but no allosomes, that is A plus 0. Okay, so these are one of the best example, as well as correctly describes the manner of determining the sex in the given this one. Why the remaining is wrong? They are telling that B option, XO condition in human found the Turner syndrome, determine the female sex. No, that is an actually abnormality. How can it will be considered the determination of the sex? Isn't it? And homozygous sex XX produces males in Drosophila. No, in case of Drosophila XY which produces the male, isn't it? Then homozygous sex chromosome ZZ determine the female sex in birds. No, ZZ is actually in case of the birds. So the homozygous sex chromosomes ZZ determines the female, they are telling. So again, so it is not related. So that's why which one of the following correctly describes the manner of determining the sex in the given examples. Got it? Yes. Next question. When released from ovary, human egg contains, so I told you, generally during the formation of the gametes. Okay, the chromosomes will become half of its number. If you take an example of humans only, I told you clearly sex determination in humans. In case of the males, the 44 autosomes plus XY During the formation of gametes, it will become 22 plus X and other possibility 22 plus Y. But in case of the female, X, 44 autosomes plus XX will get converted into 22X and another will be ova containing 22X only, isn't it? So that's right. So when the ovary, human egg containing one X chromosome, that is 22X. After the fusion, then there will be based on the opposite gametes. There is the opposite, if it will be fuses with X to X, then there will be a female. If the 22X fuses with 22Y, then it may become the males. Okay. Next question. In sex determination of the birds. Okay. Sex determination of the birds, how it will be. Okay, I told you while I am discussing the theory, in female heterogamety, specifically ZZ, ZW type of sex determination can be seen in birds. I have told you example also in common chicks. So 2n is equal to 78. Do you remember? Isn't it? Yeah. So in male, in case of the birds, male is generally homogametic. That is nothing but autosomes, that is 76 autosomes plus ZZ will be male, and in case of the female, 76 autosomes plus ZW. Okay, so that means male is homogametic and female is heterogametic, Z and W. Got it? The next question. XX, XY sex determination mechanism is found in, I told you, see the Drosophila melanogaster, human, and nearest relatives of the human. They are nothing but chimpanzees, isn't it? So there also, shows a similar type of the sex determination. That means males are heterogametic in nature and females are homogametic in nature. So that's what we call XX and XY type of sex determination. Which is correct about sex determination in honeybee. See, when we are discussing the honeybee, the sex determination in honeybee, I told you clearly, the sex determination in honeybee is based on the number of sets of the chromosome, either they are haploid or diploid, the individuals, isn't it? So the female is generally diploid, having 32 chromosomes, whereas male is haploid, having 16 chromosomes. An offspring formed from the fertilization of a sperm and egg developed into either queen or workers, both are females, and an unfertilized egg develops into male drones, so that is by means of parthenogenesis. So that's why this type of sex determination or this method of sex determination is also called haplodiploid sex determination. Okay? So now you can get easy answer. Here they are asking which is incorrect. Okay? Because the male honeybees are actually haploid and female honeybees are diploids. Here they have given in option vice versa. Okay, that's why option D is the right option with respect to incorrect. Next question. When a mutation is limited to the substitution of one nucleotide for another, it is called point mutation. See, while we are discussing about the mutation, I told you, first of all, just recall the definition for the mutation. The mutation can be defined as a spontaneous and permanent change in the genetic makeup that can alter the characters of an individual. Isn't it? The mutations are broadly classified into two types. That is the point mutation, it is also a gene mutation, and another one is frame shift mutation. Along with this one, the chromosomal mutation. And you know very well, right, what is a point mutation? The point mutation is also known as gene mutation. When the mutation occurs at the gene level is called gene mutation or point mutation. Okay, when it will happen? It happens due to change in the nucleotide sequences of a gene, that is DNA nucleotide. For example, I told you the best example in case of the sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is the best example for the gene mutation. Okay. The next question, the loss, deletion or gain, insertion or duplication of DNA segment causes. See, this is related to the frame shift mutation, which is present in cancer cells generally. Let me try to explain what is a frame shift mutation. The addition or deletion of a base pair, the complete base pair of a DNA causes frame shift mutation, isn't it? So then it will be considered as a frame shift. The complete base pair is get muted. Okay. So and this type of the cells generally where we can identify in case of the cancer. You know cancer, what is a cancer? The cancer is uncontrolled mitotic cell division. It happens because of the mutation. Okay, isn't it? This question is related to the pedigree analysis. So to identify the answer, you should just know the symbols. Okay, if you know the symbols about the pedigree analysis, so that you can easily identify this one. The symbol used in pedigree analysis is given below. What kind of the information can be understood from this? Okay, so it is actually this type, the mating between relatives or consanguineous mating. It is a mating between relatives and the female is not get affected. Okay, yeah, but what about the male? Male is get affected, the male is affected. Okay, and the female is not affected. Healthy of female, affected male, as well as that is nothing but mating between relatives, or we can also say consanguineous mating. Okay, so if you know the symbols, then you can easily understand this question. See here, the next one, this is also related to the pedigree, but exactly the question, which one of the pattern of the inheritance is consistent with this pedigree? See, in general, if you see this one, you may think that it is a autosomal or dominant trait, but they have given, at the time they have given the two generations, so that, and where it is get affected male, isn't it, affected male. So this will be very best example for Y-linked inheritance. What is the meaning of the Y-linked inheritance? So that means whatever the affected or defective gene which is present on the Y chromosome, if the defective gene which is present on the X chromosome, then it will be X-linked inheritance. Okay, let me to tell you, please note down Y-linked genes. If I take an example of the hypertrichosis, hairy pinnae in males, and also ichthyosis is the best example in case of the Y-linked inheritance. Even Y-linked genes, they are also known as Holandric, Holandric, Holandric genes. The genes which is located on Y chromosomes are called Holandric genes, and they are inherited from male to the male only. Okay, so thus this type of the inheritance is Y-linked inheritance or Y linkage. The next question, find the odd one out. See, if you know the Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorder, so that you can easily differentiate this one. Hemophilia, phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis, which is best example and which is comes under the Mendelian disorders, isn't it? Mongolism is nothing but the Down syndrome. This comes under the chromosomal disorders, isn't it? Yeah, that's why this is Mongolism is the odd one. The remaining and all comes under the Mendelian disorders. Okay. Next one. See here, if they give such a type of the questions, you should ready to work out. Write down. The hemophilic man marries a carrier woman. Okay. The hemophilic man. Write down. The hemophilic man marries a carrier woman. She is already carrier. Okay. Then the percentage of daughters becoming a hemophilic shall be. Okay, the percentage. See, if you write down, then you can identify easily. I told you while we are discussing about the hemophilia, hemophilia is a kind of gene disorder due to the absence or less number of the clotting factor that leads to delay in the clotting of the blood from the injuries, isn't it? And the occurrence of the hemophilia is more in males than in females. But a single recessive gene on X chromosome is sufficient in males to express the characters. Whenever the hemophilic man, he is already carrier, marries a carrier woman, the 50% will be surely they get the disease in the next generation. The 50% remaining, fortunately, unfortunately, so they will become, that means normal. Okay, are you writing? So if you work out, then only you can identify. If you don't work out, means you cannot get it. Okay, fine? Yes. The next question, in a sickle cell anemia, a glutamic acid is replaced by. See, I told you, it's clear. Okay, so when the person who is suffering from sickle cell anemia means, it is due to the production of defective S hemoglobin which contains an amino acid valine in place of glutamic acid at 6th position of beta chain. Okay, note down, these are all the points. I repeatedly number of times this question is appeared. Okay, and even sickle cell anemia is a good example for point mutation also. Okay, yes. So this is also related to the same question. Sickle cell anemia is due to. See, just go through the diagrammatic representation which is given in your textbook as well as whatever we were discussed in the slides also. If you just see the mutation of CTC, okay, so then in case of the mRNA and also CAC, isn't it? If you just see the diagrammatic representation, then you can identify and change of GAG to GUG, okay, on mRNA. So that means sickle cell anemia is due to both A and B. Did you got it? Next question. Both husband and wife of normal vision through their fathers were colorblind. The probability of their daughter becoming colorblind. See, both husband and wife have normal vision. Note down, they are normal. First of all, both. That means father, male, and female, that means mother. That means husband and wife have normal vision. Though their fathers were colorblind. Though their fathers, that means their parents. Their parents means, so usually grandparents. The probability of their daughter becoming colorblind is, so that means in this case what they are asking, in the next generation, immediately to the next generation. Okay, the colorblind, I told you what is a colorblind. If you just recall this one, the color blindness, it's a common X-linked inheritance caused by recessive gene in which prevents a development of color sensitive retina in the eyes. Isn't it? As a result, the affected individual is unable to identify or differentiate between the colors. But what they're asking here, both the husband and wife have normal vision, though their fathers were colorblind. Now the probability of their daughters, already it is appeared, so that in next generation there will be no appearance, isn't it? So how it will be happens? It is because of the mutation actually. There is no guarantee in all the levels it should be a colorblind only, isn't it? Okay, if you just see the checkerboard, inheritance of the colorblind, I told you the normal female with aspect colorblind man, and also the carrier female with the normal male, isn't it? I told you. So then the percentage will be, the probability of the daughter become the colorblind is 0. Okay. The next question, the male child with blood group AB is colorblind. His parents could be, see here also you should just write down and work it out. The male child with blood group, first of all, what is the having? The male child with blood group, write down male child with blood group AB is colorblind. Okay, then parents could be, what their parents could be. So I told you just now while we are discussing with respect to the inheritance of the colorblind in man. The father with normal vision with blood group A, the mother colorblind with blood group B, isn't it? Then only there will be possibility. You just write down, okay, just write down blood group A, and if it is crosses with the blood group B, that too specifically, then only in next generation the child may become AB. Okay, so already they were given the male child with blood group AB is colorblind. He is already colorblind. But what would be their parents be? The father normal vision with blood group A, and if they crosses with the mother colorblind with group B. Okay. Just while we are writing the chromosome, X to the power of C is a gene of indication. Okay. The next question. Albinism and phenylketonuria are disorders due to. See here it is also phenylketonuria you know very well that, but let me to tell you albinism. Some people they may be suffering from very reduced amount of the production of the pigments, albin. Okay, then that disorder will be considered as the albinism. And phenylketonuria you know very well that I told you. Okay, phenylketonuria is while we are discussing about the that means Mendelian disorders only. I told no PKU. PKU is an autosomal disorder due to the presence of recessive gene. Okay, so both are recessive autosomal gene disorders. Okay, yes. And the next question, which is not true about the phenylketonuria. Okay, see whatever they have given here, the symptoms. Okay. So among these one which is not applicable, that we should identify. It causes mental retardation, yes. And phenylalanine hydroxylase is absent, yes, it's correct. Phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine, no. Okay, so the person who is suffering PKU, they are not able to. Okay, they are not able to. So as a result of this mean the phenylalanine is accumulated and converted into phenylpyruvic acid. Okay, due to the absence of phenylalanine, so that means the affected individual lacks an enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, so that converts the essential amino acid, the phenylalanine, isn't it? So that a substance found in our food is, there is nothing but tyrosine. So when it is absent, how it will be get converted? Phenylalanine is not converted to tyrosine. Okay, isn't it? But what they have given in the phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine. Next question, So this is related to the types of thalassemia. So alpha thalassemia is due to the mutation of, I told you while we are discussing about the thalassemia, there are two types of thalassemia, alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia, isn't it? Alpha thalassemia, there are two genes generally we will discuss. Okay, so this is very important for the purpose of the competitive. HBA1 and HBA2 genes on chromosome 16 exactly, isn't it? So that's what we call alpha thalassemia. I have given complete explanation about the alpha thalassemia. Just watch the video, okay, whatever we were discussed in the earlier. Okay. The next question, the marriage between close relatives should be avoided because it induces, I told you while we are discussing about the controlled, the hybridization experiments, due to the continuous hybridization, what will happen? The recessive genes, they comes together, they may reason for the genetical disorders, isn't it, generally? So, while we are discussing about the hybridization in plants, I told you, okay, I hope you can remember, the marriages between close relatives should be avoided because it induces recessive alleles to come together, okay. So that's why generally, preferably one who have the knowledge about all these things, they will prefer the distant marriages instead of close relatives, okay. So next one. The haploid chromosome number is 12. Write down. That means n, small n. Haploid number of chromosome is 12. Then what is the number in monosomic? You know very well that what is monosomic. Write down. The monosomy or monosomic comes under types of aneuploidy, isn't it? In case of monosomy, what we will write? 2n-1, isn't it? Okay. The haploid chromosome number is 12. What is the number is monosomic. First of all, you just write down, if it is haploid is 12 means diploid will be 24. Then monosomy 2n-1. 2n is equal to 24 minus 1. Then you will get 23. Did you got it? Okay. So they will ask the questions like this. Fine. The next one. Which one is not feature of Down syndrome? Okay, so you know very well that while we are discussing about the syndromes, there are three syndromes we will discuss: Down syndromes, Klinefelter syndrome, and Turner syndromes. The characteristics, I told you, the characters are symptoms. In case of the Down syndrome, what are the characteristics we can identify? They are small statured, they have small and slant eyeballs like those of Mongolian race. They have a sagging and salivating mouth, swollen lips and tongue, enlarged forehead, even flattened nose, stubby fingers and spongy toes, low IQ. Okay, but gynecomastia is a characteristic feature of Klinefelter syndrome. Gynecomastia is not a feature of the Down syndrome. And you know very well that what is the gynecomastia? They show the tendency towards the female characters, like enlargement of breast is called gynecomastia. That can be seen in case of Klinefelter syndrome, not in case of the Down syndrome. Is it clear? Yes. The next question, ovum producing Klinefelter syndrome shall have chromosome number. Okay, the ovum producing Klinefelter syndrome, not down. While we are discussing about the Klinefelter syndrome, I told you the Klinefelter syndrome is commonly known as trisomy, isn't it? Trisomy means 2n+1. Okay. Now, if it is 2n+1 means what will be the total chromosomal number? It will be 47. Okay. Even ovum producing Klinefelter syndromes means ovum, what will be the number? Write down the Klinefelter syndrome, generally 44 autosomes plus XXY, isn't it? So that means total 47. If they undergo formation of the ovum, what will be? Okay, so that means 8 will become 22 plus already 1 is extra. So that means you know very well that if the 2n is equal to 46 means n is equal to, it should be 23. But according to the Klinefelter syndrome, 1 will be extra. So that 23 plus 1 which is equal to 24 in case of the ovum producing Klinefelter syndrome. Okay, got it? The next question, the chromosomal condition in Turner syndrome. You know very well that the Turner syndrome is also known as allosomal hypoaneuploidy. It is common as a monosomy because 2n minus 1. So that means chromosomal complement of such individual is 44 autosomes plus XO. Okay, so one X is missing, but still they are females. Okay, so henceforth such individuals are sterile females. It's fine, right? Next question. See, this type of the questions we should work out again. Which one of the following is responsible for mental abnormalities in humans? One, you know very well that. Okay, so write down XO. That can be seen in case of the Turner syndromes. If you write 44 autosomes plus XO, so they may become Turner syndrome and they also become mentally retarded. Okay, there is abnormalities. And there is another cases, write down XXX. Such a type of individuals will be considered as super females. Write down. Along with the 44 autosomes, XXX, there are very rare cases, but still it is identified. Then they may become abnormal. Mentally they will be abnormal. They look like female, but still they are mentally abnormal. Okay, remaining, the combinations are not exactly correct. The first one is of course triple X is there, but XY they have given. Then that is again it's a normal. In second option, XX is a normal female. Then that is not a suitable. And D also, XX is a normal female. Okay, so both the combinations along in option C, XO, she may become the Turner syndrome, and also she may become abnormal, and triple X, super females. Okay, so because of all these, the conditions generally, so they may become mental abnormal. Okay, so let it be. These are all with respect to the competitive part. In next coming classes, we will start the new chapter. Okay, if you are having any still doubts with respect to any questions, please send me the message, so let me to clarify whatever you have the doubts. Okay, so I told you in the last classes also, please, while you are watching the especially competitive classes along with the normal theory classes also, you should work out, write down, practice, and try to understand. Then only you will get something. Okay, or else if you cannot understand, simply if you watch means there will be no use. Okay, so anyway, I hope all of you learning properly in the easiest manner. So okay, thank you, have a nice day.